ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Good morning to all. In the last class, we have already came across the formation of ionic bond and the favorable condition for the formation of ionic bond are already completed. We have already came across the topics. The remaining topics of the ionic bond that we have to discuss in this class. What are they? Energy changes that are take place during the formation of ionic bond. How the energy changes? Which type of energy changes are take place during the formation of ionic bond? That we have to discuss. After that, crystal structures and finally properties of ionic compound. That is the concepts we have to discuss in this class. Right. What about the energy changes that are take place during the formation of ionic bond? Totally that can be deal with a term that is lattice energy. Lattice energy. Here the calculation of lattice energy is nothing but the calculation of energy changes that are take place during the formation of ionic bond. Okay. But how can you define lattice energy? How can you define? Here, the amount of energy liberated, when two oppositely charged ions are brought about from infinity distance to form one mole of ionic crystal is known as lattice energy. What happened during the formation of ionic bond? And here, what about the lattice energy? The amount of energy liberated or released when two oppositely charged gaseous ions, particularly gaseous ions, brought about from infinity distance to form one mole of ionic crystal is known as lattice energy. Okay. And here, by using an expression that can be given as Na plus gaseous ion plus Cl minus gaseous ion to give rise NaCl solid. Then certain amount of energy is liberated, that is nothing but lattice energy. It is represented by the letter capital U. Capital U. What is the sense of this? Here the lattice energy is an exothermic process. That means lattice energy can be expressed in terms of negative delta H values because this is an exothermic process. Amount of energy is liberated. So delta H is equal to negative. And in another way, the lattice energy is also defined as, but that is very rare, defined as the amount of energy required for the breaking of one mole of ionic crystal into constituent ions is known as lattice energy. That is also represented by the letter capital U. Look at the expression. NaCl solid to give rise Na plus gaseous ion plus Cl minus gaseous ion minus energy. Here also the energy is nothing but lattice energy. And here we can define lattice energy either by this way or by this way. Whatever it may be correct. But in most of the cases, as we have already mentioned, formation of chemical bond is an exothermic process. Based on that, it is better to convey the lattice energy as an exothermic process. This is about the lattice energy. Lattice energy. Okay. Here the same sodium chloride is also prepared in another way. that is solid sodium chloride plus half Cl2 gas, then also 1 mole of sodium chloride crystal is obtained. That is also an exothermic process, means some amount of energy is liberated, but this energy is not represented as lattice energy. That is not lattice energy, that is represented by the letter Q, that is nothing but heat of reaction, and that is also known as enthalpy of reaction. This is the difference between the lattice energy and heat of reaction or enthalpy of reaction. Here what is the physical state of the sodium metal? Solid, native state, free state. What is the physical state of chlorine? Gaseous state, native state. Even though that is not considered as lattice energy, that is represented as heat of reaction or enthalpy of reaction. Now you have to recall the definition for the lattice energy. The amount of energy liberated when two oppositely charged gaseous ions brought about from infinity distance to form 1 mole of ionic crystal is known as lattice energy. Is known as lattice energy. Okay. But here lattice energy is represented by the letter capital U, and it is directly proportional to charges of the ions and inversely proportional to their radii. Here lattice energy proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. R means radius. R means radius. Okay. And here Q1 Q2 are charges of ions. R is equal to radius of ions. Radius of ion. And in the same way, here according to thermodynamic expressions, here the lattice energy U is equal to minus N naught into A into Z plus minus Z minus into E square by R plus N naught into B by R power N. Here this is attraction force part. This is repulsive force part. Here repulsive force B is equal to N naught into A power Z plus into Z minus into E square into R naught power N minus 1 by N. By substituting that in this expression we get lattice energy is equal to N naught into A power Z plus into Z minus into E square by R. E square by R. N naught into A into Z plus into Z minus into E square by R. And here this is the lattice energy part, and same time minus 1 by same time N naught into A into Z plus into Z minus into E square by R into 1 minus 1 by N. This is the expression used to calculate lattice energy according to thermodynamic laws. Okay, but what about the terms that are given in this expression? Here N naught is equal to Avogadro number. N naught is equal to Avogadro number. A and B are Medulong constants. E is equal to charge of electron. R is equal to radius of ions. N is equal to Born exponent. Here N may be varied from element to element. And A and B are middle on constants. A is attraction force constant, B is repulsive force constant. E is equal to charge of electron. Z plus is the charge of cation, Z minus is the charge of anion. R is equal to radius of ion. Okay. N is equal to Born exponent. This is about the expressions that are related to the lattice energy. But here N is equal to Born exponent. That Born exponent varies from element to element. That is about the introduction of the topic, that is energy changes take place during the formation of ionic bond. Now we have to apply this concept to an example. For that, let us consider formation of sodium chloride crystal. Same example, right? Lattice energy can be calculated by using Born-Haber cycle. And here, Born-Haber cycle based on Hess law. What is Hess law? The change in enthalpy is same whether the reaction is carried out in single step or multiple steps. According to Hess law, the change in enthalpy remains same whether the reaction is carried out in single step or multiple steps. Why? Here some reactions goes to the completion in single step in one method. Here the same product can be prepared in different method with different stages, number of stages. Here whatever it may be, the method 1 or method 2 or any number of methods, the change in enthalpy is same. That phenomena or that law is known as Hess law of constant heat summation or simply Hess law. Okay. At same time, for Born-Haber cycle, here I am taking sodium chloride as an example. Here the sodium chloride can be prepared by using two methods. What are they? Look at the first one. Method 1. As you have already known, solid sodium chloride plus half Cl2 gas gives rise 1 mole of sodium chloride plus 410.5 kilojoule per mole. Here this is known as heat of reaction. In this method 1, heat of reaction Q is equal to minus 410.5 kilojoule per mole. This is method 1. Here the same sodium chloride can be prepared in different way or can be prepared with different stages in another method, that is method 2. What about method 2? In method 2, the formation of sodium chloride is take place in 5 steps, but here how many steps? Only single step. Why it is represented as heat of reaction? Here sodium and chlorine are in the free states, atomic states. Then this is not represented as the lattice energy, it is represented as enthalpy of reaction. In second method, here the formation of sodium chloride crystal, how much? 1 mole, is involved in 5 stages. What are they? Here the first one. Conversion of solid sodium to vapor state or vapor. What happened in this? Here the solid sodium directly goes into the vapor state without melting. That phenomenon is known as sublimation. And the amount of energy required for the sublimation is known as sublimation energy. It is represented by the symbol delta HS. Here this is an endothermic process. What about the reaction? Look at here. This is solid sodium 1 mole gives rise 1 mole of gaseous sodium vapor minus 108.9 kilojoule per mole. Here this is known as sublimation. Yes. This is about the first step. Second step. Ionization of sodium metal vapor to ionic form. Simply that is known as ionization. Here sodium vapor gives rise 1 mole of sodium ions. Here one electron is removed. Nothing but ionization potential. What is the ionization potential of sodium? Here that is represented by the letter IP, that is 492.6 kilojoules. Here this is also an endothermic process. Positive. Here we can represent the same value here also, minus 492.6 kilojoules. Then you can remove here. This is ionization. This is the second step. What about the third step? Dissociation of chlorine molecule. Dissociation of chlorine molecule. Look at here. Chlorine gas. How much? 1 mole. That chlorine gas undergo decomposition to give 2 moles of chlorine atoms. Here this is the dissociation of chlorine gas or chlorine molecule. And here for the formation of 1 mole of sodium chloride crystal we required only half mole. Here the dissociation energy of chlorine is equal to capital D. We required only half mole Cl2. Then how many moles of chlorine atoms are produced? 1 mole. Then what about the energy required? D by 2. Here D is equal to 239.3. Here D is equal to plus 239.6 kilojoules. Therefore D by 2 is equal to plus 119.8 kilojoule per mole. 119.8 kilojoules. This is nothing but the dissociation energy required for the half mole of chlorine gas or half mole of chlorine molecules. And the next one, formation of chloride ion. Formation of chloride ion. How the chloride ion is formed? When the chlorine atom or 1 mole of chlorine atoms gain 1 mole of electrons, resulting in the formation of chloride ion. Here we are adding electron to the neutral atom. So this is nothing but electron affinity, electron gain enthalpy. Here dissociation energy is also an endothermic process. But here the electron affinity is an exothermic process, that is minus 363.9 kilojoules. Okay. And the last one, formation of NaCl crystal. How the NaCl crystal is formed? When the gaseous sodium ions, how many moles of gaseous sodium ions? 1 mole of gaseous sodium ion and 1 mole of chloride ions are come closer with each other, resulting the formation of 1 mole of sodium chloride crystal plus U, lattice energy, plus U, lattice energy. Here how many stages are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are they? Conversion of the solid sodium to vapor state, that is nothing but sublimation. Delta H is positive and the process is endothermic. Second one, ionization of sodium metal vapor into ionic form, nothing but ionization of sodium metal, that is an endothermic process. This is the value. And third one, dissociation of chlorine molecule. This is the amount of energy required for the dissociation of half mole of chlorine gas. That is also endothermic process. And fourth one is the formation of chloride ion, nothing but electron affinity. Here delta H is equal to negative and the process is exothermic. And the final stage or fifth stage is formation of sodium chloride crystal. Here this process is also exothermic. Delta H is equal to negative. That energy is nothing but lattice energy. Here the calculation of lattice energy is nothing but the calculation of energy change that take place during the formation of ionic bond. And here for that we are using Born-Haber cycle. Born-Haber cycle. What about the phenomena or what about the formula used to calculate lattice energy in Born-Haber cycle? That is minus Q is equal to S plus D by 2 S plus IP plus D by 2 minus electron affinity minus lattice energy. Lattice energy. That is the expression used to calculate the lattice energy in Born-Haber cycle. Okay. And now minus Q is equal to minus 410.9 kilojoules and sublimation energy is equal to, here this is minus means 108.9 plus 492.6 plus 119.8 minus 363.9 minus lattice energy. Lattice energy. From that we can write minus 410.9 minus 108.9 minus 492.6 minus 119.8 plus 363.9 is equal to minus U. And here at given temperature means at 25 degrees centigrade, here the lattice energy is calculated for sodium chloride, then that is lattice energy U is equal to minus 768.6 kilojoule per mole. This is the energy change that takes place during the formation of 1 mole of ionic crystal at 25 degrees centigrade. This is nothing but the Born-Haber cycle or energy changes take place during the formation of ionic bond. Okay. Totally this can be represented in a cyclic form, which is represented as Born-Haber cycle. Look at here. Solid sodium chloride plus half Cl2 gas gives rise sodium chloride solid plus 410.9 kilojoules. This is method 1. In method 2, first step, conversion of solid sodium to vapor state, that is nothing but sublimation, gas. Second step, conversion of solid sodium, vapor sodium or sodium vapor to gaseous ion. This is nothing but ionization potential. That is IP plus 492.6 kilojoules. Third step, dissociation of chlorine molecule. Here this is chlorine gas. This is D by 2. What is D by 2? 119.8 plus 1 electron gives rise Cl minus gaseous ion. Here this is electron affinity. What is electron affinity? Minus 363.9. Now the two ions are come closer with each other, resulting in the formation of 1 mole of ionic crystal, which is represented as lattice energy. This is exothermic, this is exothermic, this is endothermic, this is endothermic, and this is endothermic. And this is this is method 2. How many stages are there? 1, 2, 3, okay. This is 4 and this is 5. 5 stages are there. This is about the lattice energy calculation. Nothing but energy changes take place during the formation of 1 mole of ionic crystal. And here, from lattice energy or related to lattice energy, we can make some conclusions. What are they? Here, lattice energy inversely proportional to solubility. Means what? Greater the lattice energy, lesser is the solubility. And lattice energy directly proportional to stability of compound, and directly proportional to strength of ionic bond, directly proportional to melting point, directly proportional to melting point. Lattice energy proportional to 1 by size of cation and anion. Lattice energy directly proportional to size of cation and anion. Greater the size of cation, here lattice energy is lesser. Lesser the or smaller the size of the cation and anion, lattice energy is more. Lattice energy is more. And same time, lattice energy is also influencing some other factors also, influenced by some other factors. What are they? Charge of the ions. What about the order? That is divalent greater, divalent monovalent greater, monovalent greater. Here the first one, divalent. Example, magnesium oxide. How? Mg2 plus O2 minus. Both are divalent cation and anion. Divalent and monovalent. Mg2 plus Cl minus. Monovalent. Sodium chloride. NaCl means Na plus Cl minus. These are all examples to the factors that are affecting the lattice energy. Here this is the size. And next one, lattice energy is also proportional to the charge. And how the lattice energy depends upon the charge of the cation and directly proportional to charge of cation and anion. Directly proportional to charge of cation and anion, inversely proportional to size of cation and anion. And this is about the decreasing order of the lattice energy based on the valency of the cation and anion. And lattice energy depends upon, or melting point depends upon lattice energy. Strength of the ionic bond, stability of ionic bond depends upon the lattice energy. These are all the factors that are affecting the. Now, let us discuss about the structure of ionic crystals, nothing but crystal structures. And in this topic, we have to familiar with some important terms that are frequently used. What are they? First one, space lattice. Second one, coordination number. And third one, unit cell. And the fourth one, lattice points. Lattice points. Space lattice, coordination number, unit cell and lattice points. That we have to define first. After that we can discuss the structure of the crystals or crystal structures, whatever it may be. Here space lattice means a regular or systematic arrangement of the oppositely charged ions alternately arranged in three-dimensional space. I am repeating once again. In an ionic crystal, oppositely charged ions are alternately arranged on three-dimensional space. That is known as space lattice or crystal lattice, whatever it may be. That means there is a regular, there is a systematic arrangement of the oppositely charged ions. And how do they arrange on the three-dimensional space? Alternately arranged. Alternately arranged in three-dimensional space. That array is known as space lattice. And here on blackboard we have to represent it at 2D form only. That is plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, suppose this is an ionic crystal. This is an ionic crystal. In this ionic crystal, here the ions are alternately arranged in three-dimensional space. Here this is a regular or systematic order of oppositely charged ions in three-dimensional space. That arrangement of ions in three-dimensional space is known as space lattice. And here, if you are observing the arrangement of the ions in three-dimensional space, either anion or cation, whatever it may be, each ion is surrounded by given number of oppositely charged ions. Take for example, in this two-dimensional form, this is anion. This anion is surrounded by 4 cations. But there is another cation at this position, there is another cation behind the board. Totally 6 cations surround a single anion. Okay. And here let us consider this cation. This cation is also surrounded by given number of anions. That means what? Each and every ion is surrounded by given number of oppositely charged ions in three-dimensional space. That is known as coordination number. What is space lattice? In an ionic crystal, oppositely charged ions are alternately arranged on three-dimensional space. That systematic arrangement of the ions in an ionic crystal is known as space lattice. Okay. And here coordination number is also calculated or represented by using a special term that is known as limiting radius ratio. What is limiting radius ratio? Limiting radius ratio is nothing but ratio between the radius of cation and radius of anion. This is the radius of cation by radius of anion. In most of the cases, generally size of cation is always smaller than that of size of anion. So, limiting radius ratio is always positive. Based on the limiting radius ratio, we can decide coordination number. We can decide coordination number. How? And same time, based on coordination number, we can give the shape of ionic crystal. These are all interlinked. To determine the shape of ionic crystal, you have to calculate coordination number. Coordination number can be calculated from limiting radius ratio, that is always positive, and there is a generalization. Size of cation is always smaller than that of size of anion. And the relation between shape of the ionic crystal, coordination number and limiting radius ratio is given as. Here this is the limiting radius ratio and coordination number and shape of ionic crystal. Limiting radius ratio less than 0.155, coordination number 2. Shape of ionic crystal linear and 0.155 to 0.224, 3. Planar triangle. 0.224 to 0.414, 4. Tetrahedral. Next, 0.414 to 0.732, 6. Octahedral, that is also known as face-centered cube. 0.7321, coordination number 8, and this is body-centered cube or cubic crystal. And in short form, this is also represented as FCC and this is represented as BCC. This is the table that represents the relation between the limiting radius ratio. Means what? Ratio between the radius of cation and anion, coordination number and shape of ionic crystal. They are all interlinked. How can you define coordination number? In an ionic crystal, each and every ion is surrounded by given number of oppositely charged ions. Oppositely charged ions. That number is generally referred as coordination number. Okay, now. And next one, unit cell. What about the unit cell? The simplest structural unit of the matter, the simplest structural unit of the crystal, which represents the whole structure of the crystal on three-dimensional arrangement, is known as unit cell. This is the smallest portion. This is the simplest portion. This is the smallest portion of a crystal which represents the whole structure on three-dimensional arrangement, that is known as unit cell. Okay. And now here let us consider that unit cell as a cube. Let us consider that unit cell as a cube. How can you define unit cell? The smallest portion or the simplest part of a crystal which represent the whole structure of the crystal on three-dimensional arrangement. Here, a unit cell is represented by a cube. This is cube. Okay. And here, in an ionic crystal or in unit cell, whatever it may be, no problem. In an ionic crystal, either this one or in a unit cell, the point or position or location at where the ions are present are known as lattice points. In an ionic crystal or in a unit cell, the point or position or location at where the ions are present are known as lattice points. And here this cube is considered as a unit cell. In this unit cell, there are 4 lattice points. There are 4 lattice points. There are 4 lattice points. What are they? First one, corner. Second one, center of the face. Third one, center of the edge. Fourth one, center of the body or center of the cube. This is center of the body, this is the center of edge, and this is center of face. This is corner. Corner, center of the face, center of the edge, center of the body. And here these are the 4 different lattice points that are present in the unit cell. That are present in a unit cell. Right? At the same time, the ions which are present at the 4 different lattice points contributing something to the unit cell. Each and every ion, whatever it may be, that may be corner, that may be center of face, that may be center of it, that may be center of the body, whatever it may be, the lattice point, here the ion contributes something to the construction of the unit cell. What about their contributions? And same time we have to remind one thing, the ion which is present at each lattice point is shared by some other unit cells also. Suppose this is the ion present at the corner. The ion present at the corner is shared by 8 unit cells. This type of 8 unit cells sharing the ion present at corner. And the ion present at the center of the face shared by 2 unit cells. The ion which is present at the center of the edge is shared by 4 unit cells. The ion which is present at the center of the body is not shared by any other unit cell. Means the ion which is present at center of body belong to only 1 unit cell. How many unit cells that are sharing? How many unit cells that are sharing the ion present at corner of a cube? 8. How many unit cells are sharing the ion present at the center of the face? 2. How many unit cells that are sharing the ion present at center of edge? 4. How many ion that are sharing how many unit cells that are sharing the ion present at the center of the body? 0. There is no sharing. The whole ion belong to this unit cell only. There is no sharing. So, 1. This is about the sharing of the ions present at different lattice points, and these are 4 different lattice points. What are the 4 different lattice points in the unit cell? Corner, center of the face, center of the edge, center of the body. Number of unit cells that are sharing the ion present at corner? 8. Number of ion that are sharing number of unit cells that are sharing the ion present at the center of the face? 2. Number of unit cells that are sharing the ion present at center of edge? 4. Here there is no unit cell that are sharing an ion present at the center of the body. This is about the introduction to the concept crystal structures. Concept crystal structures.